Is this your place?
No, I live with my mom.
Oh.
Yeah. You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf? Hey, Ma! The meatloaf! We want it now!
Hey, here we go, everybody. Live from Fargo, North Dakota, the land next to the land of 100,000 lakes. It is the Super Friends of the podcast world, your trigger warning fun time show. Me llamo es Scratch Masterson.
Donde Espanol Jack Spade.
Superfan Ozzy.
Babyface Nelson here.
And Burrito Supreme.
And believe it or not, we've made it to podcast number 11. Woo-hoo. Turn this one up to 11.
Have you guys started watching Stranger Things yet?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I can't hear 11 now without thinking about Stranger Things. And I also can't think of Winona Ryder without being like, I'd be your kid's dad.
Nice MILF.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't age at all, does she? I think she still looks like she did in Heathers, you know?
I actually finished that in like one weekend. I watched the whole series, so my wife was a little upset because she wanted to watch it, and I didn't know that. So.
I heard it is too scary for me to watch by myself, so I have not started it yet.
Right.
But I did finish X-Men this weekend, so I have now rewatched all of the 90s cartoon.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the wife was upset that you watched it without her?
Yeah, it was something I didn't think she would want to watch. It's a little sci-fi.
And isn't
I
that...
think it would be something she'd be into, but
and
for whatever
getting
reason.
upset with you, what is this whole thing about having to save programs? You know, like, because I've had that issue crop up before, too, where now my wife will refuse to watch Danger 5 because I've already watched it. So apparently I was supposed to save it and watch it with her.
Right, it's one thing if I had known she wanted to watch it and I, just did it, but she never said she wanted to watch it, nothing until I was about halfway through. And then she goes, oh, that looks like something I'd like to watch. Shit. I started already.
Well, maybe she feels excluded like you probably do because of the Weird Al concert.
Yeah.
Poor Superfan Ozzy's the only one who didn't go to Weird Al this weekend.
That's because he's a chump.
You are a chump. You're a little bitch, Ozzy.
Yeah.
I didn't know my wife wanted to go to it until Friday night, and I'm looking at all the pictures, and I'm like, oh, look, they're all at the Weird Al concert. Oh, I'd like to go to that.
What?
So because your wife didn't want to go, you can't go?
Yep.
You're a little bitch, Ozzy.
You're not. Yeah, these guys don't realize they're not married. They don't know.
Yeah, we stayed at home and I pretended I hadn't seen West Wing yet.
But, oh, yeah, spectacular concert. We all went, and Babyface Nelson got my Mad Magazine signed for me by Weird Al.
And I tell you, that place could not have been more packed with people who are so excited to see Weird Al.
Yeah, I think it was actually the most sold out show at Blue Stem this year so far. So,
yeah.
In fact, it was, except for a little bit of general admission, all the reserve seats were completely sold out. So that doesn't usually happen out at Blue Stem. So great that Weird Al could do that.
And what of yours did he sign, Jack?
I actually had, he did a voice for a Transformer named Wreck-Gar on the Transformers animated series in like 2009. And I had my still mint-in-box toy that I brought to the meet and greet, and he was just like, oh, man, I haven't seen one of these in forever. Garbage! Which is like one of the lines he busted from the series. But, yeah, so he was pretty pumped to see that, and him being pumped by that made me super excited.
Isn't that exciting when you bring something to the table that he's, whoa, because I'm sure he was signing a million of those Mad magazines and, million T-shirts, and then you bring some old, action figure.
Well, and Burrito had a very talked about item. Tell him what you brought to have signed.
I brought my VHS of Bad Hair Day, the videos, because that was my introduction to Weird Al. I believe it was when my father worked at Media Play, and he brought it home, and I was like, this guy is amazing. And I watched that video, all the videos on there. It's got Amish Paradise, Trump, Headline News, and the Beverly Hillbillies, Money for Nothing.
Probably the only VHS he signed in a long time.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I would be willing to bet Al has signed plenty of VHS.
Yeah. Probably a lot of VHS of UHF.
Yes.
So here it is. It's the beginning of August, and people are already acting like it is fall already. So we've seen like the glut of the summer movies so far.
Yeah, there's really not a lot left that Hollywood can throw at us at this point.
Anybody want to beat on the summer movies we've seen so far? or talk about the ones we've enjoyed?
Well, I don't think we need to get into that, like, oh, you guys suck the fun out of everything by not being able to enjoy yourself. Because I think we've been pretty much on the opposite side of the court all summer long, you and I. Like,
I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff we both enjoyed. I guess a lot of the superhero films, though.
Yeah. Here's a story that's worth telling. We went to go see The Killing Joke, Burrito and I, along with some other friends, and afterwards we got kind of cornered,
Bombarded
by a kid that I know who came up and was telling us, like, oh, hey, what'd you think? And I was like, oh, I really enjoyed it. I thought The Killing Joke was a lot of fun. He was, yeah. And then he tried to dissect it like film kids do. And I'm like, oh, good. It must be what you feel like talking to me sometimes.
A little bit.
But he told me, because I told him I hated Batman vs. Superman. He goes, you actually need to see, like, the extended cut because that extra hour actually makes it seem shorter. And I was like, you are full of shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at Ozzy's face right now, and he's like, bull. And that's...
There's no way I would sit through that again with an extra hour added to it.
In fact, one of our friends walked away from this conversation and texted me, the way this guy is defending Batman versus Superman makes me hope I never see him again in my life.
I had to have that same conversation with someone after Suicide Squad. We ended up talking about the DC universe, and he was just like, oh, dude, did you watch the ultimate cut of Batman Superman? I'm like, no. And exactly the same thing. He was just like, oh, it makes this better. It explains this. I'm like, well, does it explain why Superman didn't do X, Y, Z? Does it rectify this situation? Well, no. I'm like, the movie still sucks.
What you don't realize is Hitler took Germany out of a recession. And, I mean, he started their national parks department. So, I mean, yeah, we had mass genocide, but we probably wouldn't have had national parks if it wasn't for Hitler. So, count your blessings, I guess.
So defending Batman versus Superman is like defending Nazi Germany.
It is. It really is. You got all your Hitler youth there walking around with their BVS like shirts, like marching around, not even knowing what they're wearing.
We just saw Sausage Party, which was really good. The new Seth Rogen, that whole crew.
That was a fantastic transition, by the by.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bring that up is there is a little reference to some Nazi.
Yep.
And the extermination of the Jews.
Yeah.
Sausage Party really surprised me. I thought I was going to go in and just see something that was sort of like, one-liner after one-liner, nothing big. But it's got a very coherent plot that follows it from beginning, middle to end. Like, it's got a kind of an interesting message to it. I really dug Sausage Party.
It must be so great to have the kind of money that Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen and those guys have, where they have a project like this and can actually see it to fruition with impressive animation.
Yeah. They have been working on it for 10 years, though.
Yeah.
So when you say that kind of money, they've been slowly putting money into it over the years, because the animation's super expensive. But they did a great job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it looks like a Pixar film.
Some of us haven't seen it yet. So
we don't want to ruin anything.
Don't ruin it for me yet.
I haven't seen it, but I know you guys, like, across the board, universally loved it, and I'm pretty excited to see it. I watched the trailer, but I just want to know how Seth Rogen could put out something so high quality and something so funny like this, but then he fucks up Preacher so much. Answer me that, Seth Rogen.
You're not enjoying that, then, Preacher?
I gave up after like 4 episodes. I was like, this isn't Preacher, this is dog shit.
I pulled this up. So we're recording this the opening weekend of Sausage Party, and the numbers have come in for it this weekend. And it cost $19 million to make an R-rated animated CG comedy. This weekend alone, it pulled in $33.6 million.
Nice.
So this movie has made back its budget and then some. And you know what didn't? Ghostbusters. Not even fucking close.
It was like $70 million.
Yep. And that's $70 million of the direct production cost on that. Not even counting marketing. Not even counting what it's going to take to buy those ladies out of the contracts they have for 2 more Ghostbusters.
Oh, you can forget
that they're never going to make.
They'll never make a sequel. Although you've got an animated version, an animated Ghostbusters coming out in 2019 or 2018. And what was the other project?
TV show.
Oh, a TV show. Okay, that's right. Which I'm sure are not going to involve as many female cast members.
Let's hope not.
Right.
And I keep going back and forth. It's not that I'm sexist. It's not that I am racist against Leslie Jones. I think that they just got a bad bill of goods. they tried to do the best with what they had, but it wasn't very well thought out. It wasn't very well planned. Have we had a podcast since Ghostbusters came out?
No, we have not.
So
You
I
can't
did
can't
not
say
care
those
for it.
things though, because regardless, the internet will think you're a racist misogynist.
right,
They
isn't
did.
that
They
awful?
called him out on the internet.
Yeah, they did. And I
Did.
said it's not that. It's like if I was like, I just find the humor of the Jeffersons to be, a little juvenile. Ugh, you're racist.
But see, this is another one of those movies that, and same with like Ninja Turtles, where I saw it and I didn't think it was horrible. I still was entertained by it. I walked away from the new Ghostbusters movie and still thought it was entertaining. I didn't sit through it and hate it.
Quote me 3 lines from that Ghostbusters movie.
I would be hard pressed to do that. I guess.
Exactly. Quote me any one line from the original Ghostbusters movie.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Podcast over.
That's one big Twinkie.
The other day I was grocery shopping and I ran into an ex.
Was it awkward or was it all right?
It was really awkward. All I wanted to do was get away and finish my shopping, but he kept extending the conversation. It was really annoying.
Well, maybe he was just lonely and he wanted this to be his grand chance to win you back.
He had some sort of butt cream in his cart. Even if I wanted to entertain the idea of getting back together, that backdoor Benadryl sealed the deal that this relationship was no go for relaunch.
Hey guys, hold that thought 1 second. Hello.
Hey, it's your old pal, the Southern Pervert calling.
Hey, Southern Pervert, it's been a long time.
Well, it sure has. As my grandmother would say, we haven't seen each other in a month of Sundays.
I guess I don't get that.
Neither did we. Grandma Pervert suffered from misdiagnosed syphilis and didn't make a lot of sense in her golden years.
Well, what can we do for you today, Southern Pervert?
Well, I was just listening to y'all about Burritos meet up with her ex, and I was wondering if you would like some down-home advice.
Oh, that sounds great, but how did you know what we were talking about? This is pre-recorded.
I gave Mr. Spade a piece of Transformers jewelry for Christmas that contains a teeny-weeny camera and microphone. I've been live streaming everything he does for months. Kind of like the Truman Show, only he touches himself way more than Jim Carrey ever did.
Hey, now I didn't know that.
Well, sure, honey bunches of scrotes. It's streamed live on my website, www.fartinonmeatloaf.com 24/7. You got a huge following in Korea, boy.
Well, Southern Pervert, what advice do you have for Britta?
Burrito, flick-a-my-meato. Here is the deal. What were you shopping for?
I was buying carrots, an eggplant, breadsticks, cheese dogs, and some multivitamins.
Oh, Lord, get your mind out of the gutter, Miss B.
What?
Those are all dong-shaped items. You were subconsciously telling that poor boy that you were craving some peen.
No, that's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah? That's what you were buying when you bumped into him?
I guess I was in the dairy section and I was picking up a family-sized pack of Go-Gurt.
Whoa.
Go-Gurt? That is practically a Ron Jeremy facial in a bag. Easily the most sexual item in the dairy case, if you don't count the delicious shredded Mexican cheese.
Wait, what do you do with shredded cheese?
It's called the Quesadilla El Macho, and I'll save that description for another time.
So what should I have done, Southern Pervert?
Well, simple. Next time, just to be safe, go grocery shopping for all your favorite items, but put in a decoy item or two. Maybe some hard taco shells or 2 ripe honeydew melons. If all else fails, you can always just bring JJ with you. Even surrounded by all the sexiness of the grocery store, he can always kill the mood by telling his story about why he didn't get into Princeton.
Thanks for the tip, Southern Pervert.
That's what everyone at my Tuesday night orgy said. Bye!
So what else is still coming out that we can look forward to? I was mentioning that I'm excited for The Founder, which is the movie about Ray Kroc, the guy who started, and I'm using finger quotes here, McDonald's. But it turns out he actually stole the franchise from somebody else. I'm super pumped for that.
Who's playing him in that?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah. And this will be the Oscar for Michael Keaton. I
Yes,
think.
future Academy Award winner Michael Keaton. National treasure Michael Keaton.
My Batman, Michael Keaton.
You know what else looks really good is that Christmas Office Party movie.
Yes, I did see the trailer for that.
I just saw that this weekend, too.
That looks like a good time.
Yep.
I unapologetically love TJ Miller.
Yes.
That dude, like, you put him in anything, and I'll probably go watch it.
And Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman
He's
is
got
always.
that perfect, straight, sarcastic humor that really brings it all together.
Yep, he sure does.
Although I don't know what I think about Jennifer Aniston.
There is
in
that.
it.
She seems like the one loose cog in the.
And people say, well, We're the Millers was so good. And I said, everyone in We're the Millers was really good, but she could have been anybody. You
I don't know why
like-
people like her as much as they do.
Neither do I, and I don't think that she's aging as well. I think
hate
she's
her about
starting
as much
to like
as I-
show like little cracks and everything in her face, and like she's having some work done. I can tell. I can tell.
What about her in Horrible Bosses?
Very, very funny. So one movie out of the 30 or 40 she's done, where
See,
she gets some.
I'm a big fan of romantic comedies, though, so I like a lot of
Also,
her
like
movies.
Picture Perfect. That one. Is one of
I don't
your
think I've
favorites?
seen Picture Perfect.
Oh well, then you're not as big of an Anne head as I am.
I was going to say the one scene that you remember from her in We're the Millers. What's the one scene you remember about her in that movie?
Stripping down.
And how can you watch
That's
that
it.
and say she doesn't look good?
Because if you notice in that scene, they barely ever show her face with her body. I'm guessing that was a body double.
I'm going to pretend it's not.
I think it
I'm
was.
going to stick with that.
No, what? No, they show her strip off, and you see her face and her body together.
Go back and watch that thing. There are not a lot of face and body shots.
I'll go back and watch it in slow motion. No, I feel about her the same way I feel about Sandra Bullock and Julia. What's pretty woman?
Roberts?
Julia Roberts. Like people keep telling me everybody loves her, but I don't see it.
You don't love Sandy Bullock?
She is not America's sweetheart as far as I'm concerned.
What?
Who is your America's sweetheart?
Huh?
Who is your America's sweetheart?
Lindsay Lohan.
No,
Jennifer Lawrence.
no.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
No.
Jennifer Tilly.
Kate Hudson.
No, I hate Kate Hudson. I hate her too.
You hate Goldie Hawn's daughter?
Oh, ish, yeah. You like her?
You're a racist misogynist.
I guess I don't have one offhand.
You hate white people.
So I think what we've gained from this is that Scotch is in fact a misogynist. He doesn't like any female actresses.
That's why you always have to sit on the opposite side of the room.
I know. It's segregated.
No, I love Alexis Texas.
Hey, did you know that Alexis Texas is coming to the Northern?
Is she really?
I cut the ads for it in
she's
our
got
other
a
life.
Great ass.
And she's doing a buffet show.
She's doing the Friday buffet show
Really?
Friday night and Saturday
We
night,
can go meet
September 16th and 17th or 15th and 16th.
We can go meet Alexis Texas.
I don't see why not.
You
looks
can,
like
you
a
can
little-
go meet America's sweetheart.
He looks like a little kid opening a present on Christmas.
Yeah. Oh,
we should
that's
see if she'll be on our podcast.
yeah. What are they serving at the buffet? Rump roast. Yeah. Summer remakes. You were saying The Rocketeer is getting a reboot, huh? You excited about that?
No. Like, I should be. But this is where I get to be like a racist misogynist. Apparently, like what they're going to do. So the early rumor is that this Rocketeer is going to take place 6 years after the original. So it's still kind of like, like post World War II. Cliff Secord, the Rocketeer, is like vanished. He's, gone on a Nazi fighting mission. He's gone now. So some, like young African American female pilot picks up the mantle of the Rocketeer.
So it's like a sequel of sorts, though.
Supposedly. Because, even going back to Ghostbusters, that was supposed to be a sequel at one point, and then it turned into a reboot, and then it turned into, like, a completely new universe.
So were there a lot of female black pilots in World War II? Is that the question foremost on your mind?
I don't know. I'm just like, I don't understand, because, like, The Rocketeer, well, it wasn't a huge movie at the box office. It's one of those movies that gained like a cult following. Like, I always loved it. I've got the movie poster up on my wall. It's one of my 10 favorite movies. I love the comic books. I love all the stories.
And Jennifer Connelly. Now, at one time, I would have called her America's sweetheart.
And Jennifer Connelly.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, so I love that movie, and I was hoping I would love to have more like Cliff Secord action, more adventures, but no, apparently not.
So, Jack, you're such a big fan of The Rocketeer. Are you familiar with The Cocketeer?
I think you have one of those in the office, don't you?
No, it's actually a movie.
Is it a porn parody?
Yeah, not even a parody because they really take the story their own way. He's a superhero, though, that is fighting against an oppressive, mayor of a city who's not allowing sex. And you can imagine exactly how he fights against that. Mm-hmm. There's even a weird, Joker-like villain in it. It's pretty fabulous, and I believe you can find the whole thing for free online.
What do you mean you believe? You've sent me that link.
No.
I used
to have it on VHS. This is back in the day when we had this box collection of porn that we used to pass around from generation to generation in an improv club that JJ and I were both a part of.
High school improv club.
High school improv club.
Your dad really got advantage of working at Media Play.
Yeah, right? I don't remember where we found this film, but it went in that box, and we all laughed so hard when we watched it, so I was telling JJ about it, and sure as shit, he found the link and sent it to me, and I was like, I do want to watch this again.
Speaking of adult parodies, I should borrow you. There's one from Seduction Cinema that's called Bat Babe, the Dark Nighty.
Ooh.
And there's a character called the Jerker in that. Which is a Joker spoof. Very good, very good. Incessant masturbator.
I watched a Pokemon Go porn recently that was
Porn Star
very
Go?
disturbing. Nope. It was someone made it the Saturday morning after Pokemon Go came out, and they're like, "Hey, this is gonna be big," and it's just a girl wearing these little ears, on a hair. What do you call that thing? That
Headband.
Plastic thing. Headband. That's the word. Little ears on a headband, and she's eating fruit off of this bush. And this guy comes out and starts to strangle her. And he goes, "Gotta catch them all," and then they just go at it, and it was very disturbing and weird. And I mean, I'll show you guys.
How many times you get off to it?
Not nearly as much as I did to the Mrs. Doubtfire parody. That was.
But you've seen the ad for the one that's Porn Star Go.
Yeah,
I think it's Wood Rocket or whoever does it.
Well done, except for the Pikachu woman that scares the shit out of me.
No, that's a different one. Porn Star Go is fabulous. You're catching different porn stars.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that one with the painted Pikachu, I forget what that one's called. It's called Pokemon or something like that. And that Pikachu is terrifying.
Oh, man.
Ugh. Good Lord.
There's so many
We've come
great
to a
spoofs.
point of where, could you imagine someone from 100 years ago seeing, the sexual content we have today? Going, oh, my. Oh, what? Oh,
But really, the quality of those have gotten so much better since Hustler got in with the not the Brady's and not, But if you think back when I was working at a certain video store in town, and you'd have parodies that would come out like Bright Light, Big Titties, or
Halloweeny was one
regarding Heine and things like that. There's a spoof of Regarding Henry, for God's sake, called Regarding Heine, where a box of dildos falls off and hits him in the head, and he gets amnesia. And not only gets amnesia, but he can only get off on anal sex. So.
Was there anything in high school that you remember reading, a short story or anything like that you think about, probably on a weekly basis where something comes up and references it? Let me give you an idea. Did you ever read the story Flowers for Algernon?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, if you recall, the story is about a super drug that makes someone smart. It's pretty much the story Limitless, only the original version of it. I think about that once a week in my entire life and being I wonder if that guy wants some Flowers for Algernon pills. Or if he, because he's being just stupid. He's like walking into traffic, and I'm like, that guy needs those pills. But then he'd know that he shouldn't walk into traffic, and then it's the thing, are you trapped in your own mind? Anyone else have anything? You ever read Lenigan versus the Ants? And no. All right. I made use of my high school education.
Sometimes when I pick up a puppy, though, I'm worried I'm going to squeeze it to death.
There you go. The Great Gatsby, right?
Yeah.
Squeeze it and pet it.
Love it so much.
Nice left turn there.
We do have some
left turn for the podcast. That's really nice.
We do have some rabbits in the back if you want to go check out.
No.
Oh, so how about Star Wars Rogue One? The new trailer for that?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Goosebumps.
That's exciting. Is that probably the next big thing we're looking forward to? Well, that's not until December, though,
Yeah,
right?
we got that in December. Doctor Strange is in November. Magnificent Seven is in September. I'm actually really looking forward to that remake of a remake.
Yeah, aren't you worried, though, it's a September release, though? When was the last time a September release impressed anybody?
I like the director. I like Denzel. I like Chris Pratt. I'll check it out.
All right, we'll see. I think it's probably going to be garbage.
I don't like Westerns.
What?
What?
I don't like westerns.
What?
They're so old-fashioned-y. How come everybody's got to be on a horse when they don't have any fast cars or anything fun like that?
Weren't you alive during Western times?
No. Oh, burrito, touche. Really
Is that
stung
why
me.
you don't like it? Because it reminds you of your
Oh,
childhood?
I hate you.
Have you guys heard the fan theory about Jurassic Park and Chris Pratt's character? Have you heard this
That
yet?
he's like the kid from the first one.
Kid
that
from
Alan
the first
Grant.
one, yeah. That he, like at the dig site, yeah. I love that theory.
Did you see that actor, the kid actor's response to that?
Yes, I have, because he was in a show called Raising Hope I really liked, and he did not grow another inch taller than he was at that age. I love it. I love fan theories. Like
Speaking of shorties, what about Kenny Baker passing away?
oh, that's a bummer.
That's a bummer.
Such a bummer.
Explain who that is for people who don't know.
Well,
I'm guessing
Britta's
people who listen to the show probably know. But
Kenny Baker was he's the original R2-D2. He was inside the machine, like moving everything because it wasn't electronic back then.
Yeah.
So he was the
there's probably
eyes
people that
and
think that
ears.
was just
a machine.
Right.
It was not. There was a little person. That is the correct term, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little person inside of it that was moving everything around. I think the only thing that it did was like move forward like a remote control car.
Yep.
Yeah.
He didn't have to actually accelerate it forward, but like the spinning of like the top, like when R2 would look around, any of that stuff, that was all Kenny Baker. And he was still doing R2 work
On
up
the
until recently,
yeah,
right?
I think he did it for. Because R2, yeah, is in the. I don't watch episode 1, 2, and 3 very often, but R2's in there, right?
Yeah.
And I think that he was billed on the list of doing work. I don't know if he was actually inside the machine the whole
But
time.
a consultant, right?
A consultant, or maybe parts of it he had to be in there.
Because Anthony Daniels doesn't actually get inside the C-3PO suit anymore, does he?
I think he
For
does.
Force Awakens.
Are you sure?
For
Yeah.
Force Awakens, he did. Yeah.
Was that the same dude in the Chewbacca costume?
It was.
The most
Peter
recent?
Mayhew.
Yeah,
Yep.
wild.
Same
Some of the
guy.
time, yeah. Like he doesn't really walk too well anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But,
He's such a tall guy.
He is.
So
Yeah, he's got knee issues. My favorite thing about Kenny Baker, I remember watching a Star Wars documentary. He was talking about being in the suit, and he had like a little rail where he had like little shooters of like whiskey and vodka and stuff. And I'm like, that is awesome. Kind of like we've got our little vodka bottles set up here in the
Right.
studio. In memory of Kenny Baker.
He told like a great story about being like on the Tatooine set and someone forgetting to come and like let him out. And so he was in there and he was yelling and yelling and yelling. He goes, it kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And then
no.
finally, like all of a sudden, like a baby being born, like someone ripped the top off and they're like, Kenny, we're so sorry. Are you all right? And then they lifted him out of the R2-D2.
He came squeezing out of there like Jim Carrey squeezing out of that rhino ass.
You know, I thought we were going to get through this whole podcast without another Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls reference.
Hey,
but-
I keep dropping them, you know? It's like my buddy Tank is the only one I know who regularly will drop Teen Wolf references, you know? Like, hey, remember when Boof and Styles? So I have by the way, I've got a What Are You Looking At Dick Nose t-shirt, just like the one worn in Teen Wolf. My
You
buddy
wear it a
Bo.
lot when you go out. When I see you out at a bar, is usually when you
That's
wear
the only time I feel safe wearing it, because otherwise I never know if I'm going to run into, like another parent or something. Like going to, I've accidentally worn it to work once and then realized I had to go to a parent-teacher conference right after work, and I thought, I can't wear this What Are You Looking At Dick Nose t-shirt to a
Okay.
parent-teacher
So you were like in
conference.
high school, you had to turn it inside out, put it back on, and
It just took me until recently to really get ashamed of stuff like that. Like I've got a Misty Monday t-shirt too where it shows her bare ass, and I finally quit wearing that around in public. But I tell you what, if I get an Alexis Texas shirt or something and we go meet her, I'll wear that proudly.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
Biggest ass in Texas.
We need to write her a song. I figure that's the way we'll get to meet her. Is like, so get on that. Start strumming your guitar.
Okay.
I'll help with lyrics. Let's see.
Something with booty.
Yeah, booty tootie. You want to hear
Scooty.
tootie from your booty?
Oh, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Yeah. Getting weird.
Have we run out of steam?
I'd like to just let it be known that I apologize to Jack. Apologized to me last time about the lettuce incident, and I'd done some soul searching, and I met with my my guru, and they said I need to apologize to you for bringing so much lettuce into this podcast, and I just want to apologize for that. And
That's mighty big, you sir.
you're very welcome.
I appreciate that.
I felt bad for doing it.
Let's leave past produce issues behind us and just try to move forward.
Yeah.
Episode 12 in the near future. That wraps things up for the Trigger Warning Fun Time Show. I'm Scratch Masterson.
I'm Jack Spade.
Superfan Ozzy.
Babyface Nelson.
And Burrito Supreme.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.